Yes, there's guys, and I wonder if he would have wanted to talk. He had to look like he wanted to say something, but I don't know. How you doing? My watch went off at the same time it distracted me. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to record my videos and upload them. Trying to use as much space as efficiently as I can. So when I try to make a bunch of shorts, it just makes a bunch of extra copies and takes up a lot of extra space. So I want to try to upload the full video, and then I can break it down and then archive it after that. How you guys doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
What's that?
Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Not today.
All right. Have a good day. How you doing? Oh, that was dangerous. That truck had two totally different headlights. Or bulbs, at least. Not whole headlights, but... Hear that bird right above me. It's pretty windy, but I don't think my stuff will blow over. There was a guy sitting here that a couple different people came up and knew like who it was, and they were like, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" I wonder if he works here or something. I don't know. But I saw people go into this building on the corner here. I guess it's a bakery. They all came out with food. They were all eating. I've never been in there. I don't want to say that she was looked like she was unfriendly, but some people just aren't very friendly. Like, they don't make eye contact. It seems like if you walk by and somebody's like me is just kind of standing here and you don't make eye contact with me, you're probably trying to not make eye contact with me. So I'm not gonna talk to people like that. I don't think they want to talk to me. But most people will kind of be like, you know, hey, how you doing? But you know, a lot of people are going to work or coming from work. A lot of people like wearing black, like she was, are working in the restaurants or the hotel. The traffic comes in waves. Sometimes it's like not many people, and then there's a whole bunch of people at once. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Actually,
Alright. Yeah, see, she's in a hurry.
ma'am? Hi, ma'am. What are you doing? Walking down the water? Oh, what are you doing? Why you running
So, I got some different questions that I'm going to ask today. I'm going to ask what slavery means, if animals can be enslaved, if you were an animal, what kind of conditions would you want?
I'm supposed to be only here. Hello? Hey. Alright, my mom's back.
How you doing?
Yeah, you only need $25.
A lot of these people don't seem like tourists. And people that live here probably don't want to be bothered at all. Yeah. The guy that checks the meters is walking around again. That's who I talked to the other day, or the first day I was here.
Chicken.
You too. I don't think this is a very good spot, like background wise, because it's just getting the side of the building. Probably should have asked her. But that's another thing I'm worried about set up here. Most people probably, well, maybe 50-50. They're gonna go over to these shops in the corner, or they're gonna go like to the other crosswalk. So if I'm standing here, half of the people might go behind me. It's not really like that as much on the other ones, I guess. Kind of is over there. But over on that corner and that corner, it's not, because there's like outdoor seating there. So everybody walks through the one spot. So that might actually be the best corner to set up on, because there's a lot of traffic. And everybody walks by. And I think it was I shooting this way, so I was getting the hotel and the flag. So it was pretty good background setup. That might end up being my favorite spot. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
No, thank you.
I don't think the pub's open today. That's where they were going.
Yeah, they said
Ooh, see people behind me. I don't want to keep flip-flopping back and forth. How you guys doing? Very quickly. They've gone by a few times, but they're walking faster this time than they were before, so. How you guys doing? And was in this truck. Right when I got here, I was getting my camera set up. I saw two large feed trucks that were from Lancaster, or going to Lancaster. What is that? There's all sorts of crazy stuff that goes through here. That's got to be for like power lines or something, generators. Yeah, MedEd. There's a big MedEd truck right behind it. Yeah, this is probably the worst corner I could have set up on, because blue and gray's open, and they got a lot of traffic over there. There's people sitting outside. I think the corner over in front of the hotel's probably got traffic all the time. I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. Here comes a couple of people. How you guys doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
No way to keep going.
Yep. How you guys doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
Yeah, sorry.
She has some cool tats. I did see a couple people walk by with their dogs already while I was setting up too. How you guys doing? The trucks. How you guys doing today? Good. Can I ask you some questions for my video? Everybody's very nice around here. Well, most people. Here comes a few people. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I ask you some questions for my video?
No, we're probably going to film you. Thank you.
Have a good day. And it's a Fiat. Nice. I was wondering who was going to park here. It was a really big truck earlier and it blocked the building in the background, so I'm happy it's a small car now. It's a pretty cool looking Fiat. There's a couple dogs walking across the street. Oh no, it's only one dog and a wagon. I thought the wagon was a black dog at first glance. Oh, that person I think went into the bakery. There comes a bunch of people. How you doing? Can I ask you some questions for my video? Can I ask you some questions for my video?
What are we talking about?
So my first question is, what does slavery mean to you?
Oppression, free work, not nice things.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you think animals can be enslaved?
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why do you say that?
Life experience.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, not treated properly.
Yeah. So if you were born an animal, what kind of conditions would you want?
Oh, I would say I got made for myself now.
Right?
That's why
Yeah.
I have adopted animals and just bring them on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Me too.
Yep.
So I guess that leads me to like the animal industry, like agriculture industry. Do you participate in any of that stuff?
When I was a kid, I grew up next to a farm, so I worked on their farm like until
Yeah.
I was old enough to drive and go get my other job.
Hello.
So yeah, like, and then they had the farming equipment, the plants, the crops. So I did actually help work in that industry.
Right.
But then of course I went to other farms, just because I was into that. Then you could see the difference of the people that took care of their animals and the ones that it was strictly just for profit, money, move them
Yeah.
out, and they weren't. They still need to be cared about. I know they have a purpose for certain kind of farms, agriculture. I know they have a certain purpose, but that doesn't mean they should be treated not very nice.
Yeah. So what do you think the purpose is?
It depends on the person you are. Some people the purpose is eating. Some people it's for caring. Some people it's for show.
Right.
Some people it's for just riding horses, equestrian people. So
Yeah.
it really just depends on the person you are. To me, I'm not a vegetarian, so I do like meat, but I'm particular about where I get it based on how they're treated. I don't go to the grocery stores. But then again, with my animals, they're treated. I make their food.
Yeah,
they're
right,
spoiled. So
Yeah. That's nice.
so yeah.
So, do you think though, even if we treat them good during their life, if we're ultimately taking their lives just for food, would you agree that we can live without animal products?
I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
They make other things for that, but unfortunately, because I also worked in the food services, unfortunately, a lot of the things that they're putting into that to replace aren't always the greatest. So you're trading one health benefit for another because they have more synthetic. I mean, you have to like make it yourself or do your research, and a lot of people don't do that. They just look at it as I'm a vegan and good, but I'm like looking at what they're eating, and it's like that's not good for you either. So yeah, it just really depends on the person.
So yeah, on a health perspective, you could be a healthy vegan or an unhealthy vegan.
Exactly.
But to the animals in their eyes, what would they want?
Yeah.
They probably would prefer
not to be. But oh my gosh, could you imagine the country though if it was overrun with all the animals? Then we'd have another issue with. Because then it was like, oh well, do you want to sterilize all these animals?
Well, we bring all of them into existence, right?
Know.
So
there's a lot of them. The deer are a good example of that. I hate venison, but yeah, as many as run out in front of my car. There's a population issue.
Yeah, there's other ways we could control population though, besides like just killing them.
Yep.
But.
Anything else?
So yeah, it was nice talking to you. Could I give you a little bit of like information?
Sure.
Like if you want to take a picture of it, this is my YouTube channel. I'm sorry. And these are some different films that you could watch.
Okay. I've watched
to learn
some
a little bit more.
Yeah, I've watched some of them. That's how when I started educating myself, where to go, where to shop, what restaurants not to eat at. Yeah. So no, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.